Hello, everybody. Dr. Rick Wallace dropping in on you this Thursday morning. Throwback Thursday was what they call it. I'm going to stop by briefly to talk to you about the importance of self-identity or self-awareness, self-confidence, self-esteem, an identity with who you are, why you're here, and why it's so important not to listen to what I call the sweet nothings of negativity that people tend to whisper in your ear for a number of different reasons. Some of the things I'll cover today, some I won't, but the primary focus I want you to focus on is the importance of looking within when you are determining the path that you will choose, the level of aspiration you will apply to your expectations and your standards and your demand on yourself, because we live in a culture that leans heavily towards seeking the approbation and approval and validation of others in order to justify our desires, our goals, our standards, and those things we aspire to. We set our goals and then we tell our friends, we tell people we know, we talk to people who are in our periphery, and we share with them what we want, and we wait to see what they have to say about it. We want to know how you feel about my visions and dreams. What I can tell you is, not just with myself, but with those I have had the pleasure of working alongside, those I have had the opportunity to observe and study and learn from, I can tell you consistently that one thing that I do not do, and those people that follow within those aforementioned categories don't do, is look to someone else to validate our visions, to validate our dreams, to give us permission to pursue excellence, to pursue greatness. And what you've got to understand is that anytime you aspire to a level of greatness, anytime that you desire to do something outside of the spectrum of mediocrity, it comes with challenge, it comes with cost. There's a price to pay for it. Now, there's a price to pay for mediocrity. It doesn't, while it may exist in the corner of comfort, it does not come without its own share of pain, disappointment, struggles, and hardships. And it normally comes in the way of things that are outside of your control and influence. The wonderful thing that I love about striving for excellence and pursuing greatness is that it comes within the constructs of personal influence, my own personal influence, my own personal decisions, my own idea of success, my own direction, my own choice in choosing what I want to be in life, not what someone tells me I would be good at, not what someone tells me I should do, not what someone tells me is safe, but what my heart is driving me to do, what wakes me up in the morning, what keeps me going during the day. The thoughts that I can't shake is what's driving and setting my standards, and I make that choice. I influence my life by making a decision to be what it is that I set my mind to be, not what someone else thinks of me, not what someone else says about me, not what everybody is whispering in the corner, but what I decide to be. See, I'm going to hit the rough places in my life. I'm going to have to deal with the disappointments, the delays, the struggles, the hardships. And if I'm the one that's going to have to deal with it, I'm going to be the one to make the decisions on what direction I take. I don't need the approbation or approval or validation of anyone to tell me it's okay to be me. Far too often, we allow ourselves to be influenced by the sweet nothings of negativity, whispered in our ears by those we believe have our best interests at heart. And in some cases, it do. Sometimes you will get advice to throttle down from people who are afraid you're about to run off the cliff. But see, it's when you run off the cliff that you learn you can fly. We got a lot of people who live within the reach and control of fear. And because they operate from an influence or from a place of fear, they consistently superimpose their idea of security and safety on others around them, not because they don't want them to achieve or aspire or be something more, but because they are afraid they're going to fall off. See, this is where motive isn't that important. See, there are some people that will hold you back for good reasons. Parents will do it. Stop daydreaming. Get your head out the cloud. Be more realistic. That's not being reasonable. That's not what you're good at. You can't really make a living doing that. All of the things that parents will tend to tell their children under the expectation that it's giving them a dose of reality and setting them up for what life is really like. And what they're really doing is saying, I've never been able to get past this point, and I don't want you to get frustrated like I got frustrated, and I don't want you to have to deal with a disappointment of understanding that it's not possible, but the truth is that it is. See, I want you to understand that you're going to have some people who mean you well that are going to be the whisperers of the sweet nothings of negativity. But they're not the only ones. There are going to be some people who are bitter because they gave up on their own dreams. There are some people who are frustrated because they've accepted suffering, poverty, loneliness, disappointment, and depression as their lot in life, and they're going to demand that you take the ride with them. They're going to look at you and tell you that what you're dreaming of and what you're expecting out of life doesn't fit into your world. They're going to talk consistently and tell you why. It's almost as if they have made it their living, their purpose in life, their career, to drain the energy out of another person's dreams. And what you have to understand is that when you are setting your gate, when you are fixing your compass to direct you to it, whatever it is that you aspire for in life, you need not have the influence of anything that will shake your focus, that will make you question your commitment. You don't live your life based on the realities of someone else's life. See, you create your realities by what you expect and demand of yourself. You create your realities by what you decide is possible. Because if you decide it's possible and you take action, it's possible. It didn't work for them, and they have to figure out why it didn't work for them. But just because it didn't work for them doesn't mean that it won't work for you. You have to set your course. You have to set up your mind. Far too often, we let people on the sideline disrupt our participation in the game. I remember when I was young, maybe 12, and I grew up in Houston, so we didn't see a lot of ice. Every now and then a little snow, and every now and then some ice on the road, but nothing that you can skate on, so primarily, unless they had some special event where they created a temporary set, the only place you could ice skate that I was aware of was the Galleria. And so I remember one time we all got together, all the kids around the age between 11 or something. We are supposed to be going somewhere, but we have made up in our minds, we're going to hop on the bus and we're going to the Galleria. We're going to go ice skating. And we get there and nobody skates. I mean, not even roller skates. I mean, it's a few maybe roller skates, but nobody's an ice skater. And so I decided, you know what, I'm jumping out there. I'm going out there. And I got out there and I fell about 30 times in 30 seconds, I swear. I got out there. And it's funny because I remember what happened. And this is the power of inspiration. that I want to share with you. The difference between when a person pays attention to what people are saying from the sideline and when a person decides you're on the sideline and I'm in the game. And I remember that everybody's laughing. And now a lot of people have a fear of being ridiculed. A lot of people have a fear of being laughed at. A lot of people have a fear of being the butt of other people's jokes. But let me explain something to you. At some point in your life, you got to be able to be willing to be the target of ridicule while you're pursuing, because when you enter into something initially, you're not going to be the best at it. You're not going to be the greatest. You're not going to be the most adept and the highest expert in the game, but you've got to start somewhere, and you're going to fumble over it, stumble over it, trip over it, but you're failing forward. I remember falling down and everybody laughing, but I also remember getting up and saying, at least I'm out here. At least I'm out here. It was shortly after that that everybody was out there busting their butts. We didn't get it together that day, but we started something that we said, we may not ever be professional ice skaters, but we're going to get to where we can stay up for more than a second. And we would take these little trips that our parents knew nothing about out there. And then we would eventually get to where we can make a whole lap around without falling. But it started by one person being willing to fall and then telling everybody else that falling is better than not trying. And then everybody came out. Now, what I want you to get you to understand is there are going to be people from the sideline laughing at you, but not willing to be where you're at and do what you're doing and go where you're going. You can't get caught up in what people on the sideline are saying about your journey. You're in the game. This is what I want you to understand is, first and foremost, if you want to excel, easy is not an option. There is no easy way to be exceptional, no easy way to achieve the phenomenal, no easy way to be declared extraordinary. That comes with hard work. That comes with passion and commitment. That comes with not being willing to quit. That comes with being willing to be talked about, laughed at, ridiculed. It comes with a willingness of being willing to fall down, scrape yourself, cut yourself, bruise yourself, and get back up, dust yourself off, and do it all over again. But what I'm trying to tell you that the greater the battle, the more difficult the battle, the sweeter the victory. You got to be willing to go through some things. You got to be willing to take some bumps and some bruises. You got to be willing to face down some ridicule and some people talking behind your back, and some delay and some frustration and some disappointment, some hardship, some loneliness. You got to be willing to go through some things in order to experience the things that most people will never, ever experience. It's in the willingness to do things that other people won't, that you get to enjoy the things that other people don't. You've got to have that so deeply embedded inside of you that you're no longer concerned about what someone else has to say about it. I've said this to people on way more than one occasion where I sit up and shared something that I'm about to do, and then the opinions start. I don't think that's a good idea. I think you probably should. I think you're trying to do too much. I think it would be better if, and all of them start coming in. And my response has always been, as far back as I can remember, I didn't ask for your permission. I don't need your permission to excel. I don't need your permission to be great. I don't need your permission to move forward. I don't need your permission to dream bigger. I don't need your permission to see things beyond the spectrum of the box that everybody wants to put everybody else in. I don't need your permission. I'm willing to make the decision to step outside of the box and deal with the consequences that come with it. Greatness is not an accident. It's not something that just happens to some people and escapes and eludes others. Greatness is something that is attractive. Greatness is something that when you desire to feed the inner you and become what you are capable of becoming, there's a point that you stop pursuing greatness, and greatness simply overtakes you. Why? Because you step into who you were designed to be, and you begin to live life passionately, fluently, and fully. You don't have to chase it. It'll overtake you when you start living in your own expectations, your own understanding, your own identity, and stop asking permission from the minimal minded to do the things that you desire to do. People want to feel justified in their mediocrity, and every time that you sit up and talk about your aspirations of greatness, you convict them of their mediocrity. See, they've got excuses why they can't do it. See, I never knew my father. I've been incarcerated. I never knew my mother. I come from poverty. I don't have an education. I've been through divorce. I've been molested all of those things are things that people go through, and there are hardships, and they're hurtful, and they take something out of you, but that's not an excuse not to be all that you can be. It should drive you, if anything else. Y'all don't hear me. Y'all don't hear me. See, there's a lot of people in that box of mediocrity that's been through some things, the same things you've been through. Me, myself, never knew my father. I mean, never. First time I saw my father was in a casket, but I could have hung on that. I come from an impoverished background, even though my grandparents were not necessarily poor. I live around nothing but poverty. I've got all of these things. I never had a great relationship with my mother. I was reared by my grand. I got all these things that I could easily sit back and say, you know what? I'm supposed to be mediocre with everything I've been through. Nobody's going to fault me for being average with everything I've been through. In fact, a lot of people will praise me for just surviving and getting through it. I've been through a lot. But see, no, I can't settle for that. That defeats my design. That fails my designer. There's a purpose hidden in my design, and I owe it to the designer to fulfill my purpose. And my purpose has absolutely nothing to do with mediocrity. I can't accept something that doesn't belong to me. I refuse it. It may be an easier road. It may be less responsibility. It may be a lot of things that I don't have to deal with when I walk the road of mediocrity, when I meander through the maze of mediocrity. But there's something to be said about struggling for greatness, for striving for greatness, trying to become something better than what I am the day after the day. One thing I share with audiences that I speak with, one thing I share with every last one of my clients, if someone stands in front of me, from the little boys that I counsel, the groups that I work with, my clients, my family members, one thing they all will tell you is, I will tell you in a heartbeat, I'm not better than you. If I've advanced and done things beyond what you've done, it's not because I'm better, it's because I'm more committed. That's the only thing. I refuse to quit. I refuse to settle. I refuse to accept me as I am, because I know there's something greater inside of me, and I refuse to sit back and just be. I would rather become. That's the difference between me and people who haven't achieved the things that I've done. Not that I'm greater, not that I'm smarter, not that I've got something you don't got, not because of any accolades I've achieved in any particular area or industry, but simply because if I set my mind on it, I'm going to either get it or I'm going to die trying. There are no other options. I'm not even looking for alternatives. I don't care how many times I get knocked down. I don't care how many times I get laughed at. I don't care how many times I get lied on. I don't care how many times I get pushed back. I'm going to keep fighting until I get to where I'm going. If I'm breathing, I'm still in the fight. I've made some bad decisions that took me out of the game for a while. It stopped me though. I learned from them. I wake up every morning and I perform an examination, an introspective look inside, an examination of myself, and I discover there's still work to be done. But I don't become disappointed or down because I'm not everything I want to be. I get excited about the fact that I can be better. See, it's how you frame it. See, a lot of people will frame the components of your greatness with negativity and cause you to sit still instead of take action. See, I could talk about all of the things that I've spent years learning and mastering. I could talk about neuro-linguistics program. I could talk about psychology. I could talk about neuroplasticity. I could talk about neuroassociative conditioning. I could talk about all of that stuff. But at the end of the day, it's about committing yourself to something and refusing to quit. It's about speaking life as you desire it to be instead of speaking your past or your current condition. It's about not allowing your current condition to become a perpetual reality. Make it an event and look forward and speak as if you have already stepped outside of it and you are living in the new you. That's what you got to be able to do. Stop shrinking your vision to fit your condition. And it's some people that will demand that you do it. It's some people that will demand that you look at where you're at now and act like you live there. But you don't live where you are now. You are passing through, heading to something greater, and you don't have to claim that moment as your identity. I don't care if it's poverty. I don't care if it's you've been victimized and raped. I don't care if you've been left alone and hurt. I don't care if you didn't know your parents. I don't care what happened in the past. I don't care what you're going through right now. You're not locked until that moment. Start to speak of what is. Start to call things that don't yet exist as if they already did. I'm talking about speaking your future as if you're living in it now. Your brain doesn't know the difference. Your brain and your mind cannot distinguish between what is being imagined and what is real. Speak a reality that is not, call it as it is, and watch it come to fruition. I'm telling you how I've gotten from you can't publish this first book. It doesn't have a big enough audience to about to drop book number 20. How I come from you're a black man growing up in an impoverished environment, business ownership is unheard of, to having just started company number 48. Now, yeah, I've taken some bumps and some bruises. I've gotten knocked down. I've lost a lot. I've been laughed at because it was people on the sideline sitting around waiting and hoping for my demise. But they counted me out too quick. See, I'm still breathing, and if I'm still breathing, I'm still in the game. If I'm still in the game, I'm still fighting. If I'm still fighting, I still have a chance to win. No surrender, no retreat. I will not turn back. I will not give up. I will not let go. There's greatness on the inside of you. I don't care where you've been. I don't care where you're at right now. First of all, no matter what happened in the past, let it go. Stop mortgaging your future to pay for your past. That's a mistake. It's in the past. That's a poor decision. It's in the past. That's a failure. It's in the past. Stop mortgaging your future to pay for your past. Start planting seeds of prosperity. Start planting seeds of high expectations. Start planting seeds that reflect the raising of a standard of excellence. Yeah, I get passionate and exciting when I start to think about what's possible for each and every life that's out there while people are accepting so much less. Stop allowing someone else to define you, someone else's opinion to define you. Stop allowing someone else to write the narrative of your life. Stop it. Take ownership of your life. Reclaim your personal sovereignty. Set the standards by which you are going to live life, and then pursue them inexorably. I get giddy just thinking about what's possible. Stop listening to the sweet nothings of negativity, whispered by the minimal minded who have already sacrificed their personal sovereignty in exchange for comfort. You write your narrative, you write your story, you set your standards, you push yourself, and their potential that you have within you is infinite, limitless. Go after it. I mean, I want to first of all thank you guys for just stopping in long enough to kick it with me, talk to me, listen to me. Hopefully something I said, if nothing but one sentence, one idea, one thought, one concept, allowed you to, for a moment, consider the possibilities that sit before you. Just for a moment. Start moving toward it. Start taking a step toward it. Start living life at a different level because it's possible. Before I get off, I'm about to check off here. Before I get off, if you look over into the post box, if you're on Facebook, the description box, if you're on YouTube, if you're on the site, it's sitting right there in front of you. But there is, right now for a limited time, we are doing we're offering a free rapid change session with yours truly. This is a chance to actually take a step and invest something. Invest your time. That's all you have to do. Invest your time. I'm asking for 30 minutes to sit down. You invest your time. I invest my knowledge. And we get you started in the right direction. Yeah, one session is not going to have everything you need, but it can ignite that one thing that you need to know. That breakthrough moment. The breakthrough isn't the accomplishment. The breakthrough is the point you get to when you realize it's possible and that nothing can stop you. That's the breakthrough. When you understand that it's coming and nobody can take it away from you. That's the breakthrough. That's what I want to get you to in this rapid change session. Like I said, fill out the questionnaire that's there. There's an email address listed. Email it to that address. The support team will respond within 24 hours and we will schedule you for a session. You will hear from me and we will get something going. Just take a step. And for those that don't want to work with me, that's fine. Take a step. Take a step. Make a decision. You can always correct anything that you don't get right the first time. But you got to take a step. You got to become involved. You got to do something. Your moment to make a difference and an impact in this world, in this universe, is now. It's now. Go for it. Look, once again, it's awesome. As I always say, I am going to Downey. I'm going to live my life on full. I'm not leaving one dream behind, one vision behind, one book unwritten, one lecture unspoken, one life untouched. I'm just not going to do it. I'm going to live to the fullest. I can tell you, every night I go to bed on E. I go to bed on EY because I spend my energy in investing it in every second, 86,400 seconds in a day. And those that are not spent sleep are spent with a focused intent. I don't have time to waste. I don't believe in casual time. Even when I'm spending time with my family and we're kicking it, that time is an investment. I believe that every second has a purpose. And if you don't invest something in it, you waste it. And that wasted second comes back to you with casual results, mediocre results, troublesome issues. You better find a way to make every moment count. And when you start valuing your time that way to where you invest in every second, watch what starts to happen. You're planting seeds. They come to harvest. Trust me. Trust me. You're getting now what you planted a week ago, a month ago, a year ago, 5 years ago. You're getting it. And you just don't understand it. You don't know how it works and where it came from. You planted a seed that was going to produce the fruit you're getting. Learn how all of that works. Anyway, like I said, thank you. I encourage you to live your life on full. Leave nothing on the battlefield. When you leave this place, leave a legacy that says you came, you saw, and you conquered. With that being said, I'm out of here. Y'all have an awesome day.